might want to burn one of this. Sledge roll. You couldn't walk a mile in these 11 and a halves, even if you had a chance.
What's good, everybody? What's good? Welcome back to yet another episode of Off the Strength, where we're giving you the inside look into all things wellness culture. I'm a trainer called Tony, and of course, with me, I have some gentlemen of extraordinary league. Guys, let's go around the table and introduce ourselves, please.
KR Jones is in the building. Good morning.
Number one is in the building.
Okay. KR and number one, we cutting each other off. Yo, the energy.
My bad.
No, I'm hugging my brother right now.
We came in aggressive this morning.
Yo, this was an aggressive morning. Yo, Kyle was gonna fight me.
It was that sprinkled donut.
Troy's mad at the fashion comments. We can't have a house divided, guys. We're trying to get in on this right tip. You know,
stay away from sugar in the morning.
Yeah.
Listen, if something was in that damn donut. I don't know what it was, but I'm trying to figure out how we could come in on this Wiz Khalifa Visions kind of situation, right? Because I'm trying to get the 2020 on in this whole... Yeah, exactly. Kyle wanted to come in on a different Bob. He wanted to fight me, but as soon as our special guest started nodding his head when it came on, we had to change it up. But... yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners of all type, from near and far, you are in store for a treat today. Now, this is going to be a KR Jones production, so you are going to hear from my brother pick this back up. I'm sorry about the song choice, but you know it was right on that side. Mr. Jones.
What's happening?
Can you take over this intro, please, my man?
You know I'm going to take over this intro. Now, as far as the song selection, I wasn't mad at either choice for the record, people, ladies and gentlemen. Don't you worry. Nobody was mad. But... I brought in a good brother today, a friend of mine, I would like to say. Met this man at an art show a couple years back.
2 years, yeah.
Two years back or so. Went into the art show, immediately found my way to his art and nothing else in there. I was like, I got to link with this dude. And at first, I noticed the kicks. I was like, all right, he got some fly kicks, you know what I'm saying? I
appreciate it.
Then I seen the art and was like, all right, I can build with this brother for a little bit. So we connected, and from that point on, I was like, I'm going to keep in contact. I went back the following year, same show, saw the growth, and I was like, all right, I really got built with this brother because I see what he's doing and I'm inspired by it. So, with no further ado, we have Brother Cloudy Visions in here today.
Hey, let's make some noise for Brother Cloudy Visions one time. We got the Visions, baby. What's going on, homie?
Life is good, man. Can't complain, man. And if you do, who cares?
Yeah.
Gotta keep it trucking.
Super facts on that one.
Yeah, man. How you guys doing? Life is good?
Can't complain because, again... nobody's gonna listen.
Exactly. Yeah.
Come to me with a solution, not a problem.
Yeah,
exactly.
Man. Yo, those are rare days. I love every single one of those days, man.
CTC as well.
Exactly.
And by the way, let me give you your flowers now. The show is dope. So I'm really, really happy to be here with these guys, man. And yeah, it's a blessing, man.
Oh, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Listen, I'm happy to have this positive vibe after we started off on a choppy start.
Yeah. It's because I didn't have a donut.
Donut.
You should have saved the man
and
one.
you actually like the song.
Yeah, exactly. That song is tight. Wiz is
Come on.
that Wiz.
Cushion Orange Juice.
Cushion Orange Juice was man.
Never been Wiz.
Yeah. That was like a turn in life for me. Like that whole era, like mixtape era.
See, now we about to get into that.
Yeah,
now we like to start this show off a certain kind of way. You know what I
course,
mean?
for sure.
We like to give our listeners, if you will, the proper setup.
Okay.
It's all in the setup. So my question to you, brother, is where were you when you fell in love with art being wellness?
Good. I was kind of prepared for the other one, but cool.
It's a part of it, man.
No. It all kind of falls into the same place, though, right? So I fell in love with art and wellness about 2013. I've worked every job you can possibly think of, and I had finally gotten into the field that I work in now, which is IT. I had really, really worked hard, and they gave me a promotion and moved me to Denver. I had never been to Denver before. And right before that, I had gone through like some crazy times where I think I put on I got up to 268. I was bugging, you know what I mean? And then I got to Denver. I didn't know anybody. And there was an art store down the street from me. And I had drawn all my life or whatever, kind of, sort of, but nothing crazy. And then I went to the art store and bought a canvas and a couple paints, went home. That was it. And then same thing as working out. When I got down there, I was so depressed. I didn't know anybody. There was a gym in my building downstairs, and I was like, I'm not going to waste the time. Let me just go down there. Got that, bought a pull-up bar, You know, like the one you hang up on your wall or whatever.
we very familiar.
Yeah, for
Very
sure.
familiar.
I bought one of those, and my cousin had come to stay with me, and he's super fit. Yeah. And he would just do push-ups all day, and I was like, man, come on, man. Let me get my fat ass downstairs and just hit these push-ups up real quick. And then from there, I lost 60 pounds. And
awesome.
With artwork, it just kind of formed into it. And then with the mental, like being creative, Kale will tell you, and if you guys see my stuff, I really want to paint a picture in your head and make you think about something. I don't want it to be like a bathroom painting where it's just on your wall and you walk past it every day. Like, I need you to talk. So for mind, body, and soul to all be in a good space, all happened in 2013. And it kind of just grew from there to where I'm at kind of today.
That's dope, man. So
Yeah.
what I hear is the marriage of art and wellness coming together, right?
Yeah.
Like that being 2013. I want you to unpack a little bit before 2013. Like,
Sure.
tell me what got you to Denver. Like, you mentioned working in all these other jobs.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure that added to the inspiration
For sure.
behind the meaning of the art.
Yeah.
So unpack that for me a little bit.
It's like going through different walks of life, right? Like, I've been a janitor. I've worked in a blood bank handling blood. I don't know anything about that, but you know what I mean? Like, I've always been hungry. I've always wanted to work. I've always been a hard worker. And I always knew that, you know, in order for me to get to the place where I feel I need to be, I have to put in this work. It's just like working out. You know what I mean? Like, we all want to look like we play in the NFL, but if we don't get out there and do something about it, then it's like, what's the point? We're just talking. So before that, I mean, I grew up in London. I moved here when I was 12, and my painting started, or my drawing started off as like the 3 lines, or the 6 lines, I'm sorry, make the S.
Yeah.
And you
Oh,
do
I've
like
been there.
Daffy Duck and stuff like that.
Ruined
and
many a desk.
yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. And it just kind of grew from there. Just watching cartoons and music for sure. Especially growing up like in another country, I would have to wait months to get a Source magazine. I still remember my first Source magazine, the cover. You feel me? Like, so it's like, it was the one with the locks on the front. And just hearing music and then coming here and living here just created like a whole new thing. Then finding New York and just walking around this beautiful, ugly city and just, you know what I mean? Like, you know, it just kind of spawned it, man. So music, everything, is just kind of life. Going through all these trials and tribulations, you get to kind of see how different people think, you know what I mean? Like, and different people's perspectives. And then when I paint, is like, how do I make you who came from here and you came from there and this person who came from, like, I don't know, Sweden, all think about the same kind of thing without really having to interact with each other. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I see there's a provocateur spirit inside there, meaning that your art is a challenge to people.
Yeah.
Why is that important? And let's go into that a little bit.
It's because, like, my whole new series right now, I'm doing a show next month, and it's called The Beautiful Ugly.
Yeah, that's in the Netherlands, is that?
In Norway.
Norway, sorry.
Yeah, so
there
I'm
we go.
doing a solo show in Norway and then one in London, like 2 days later. And
Right on.
The Beautiful Ugly is just that, right? It's prerogative. It's like, it's balance. Good with bad.
The yin to the yang.
The yin to the yang, man. We can't all be good and we can't all be bad. There's a balance between the two. So it's like, for me to make you think about that, you know, because a lot of art is super happy. Mm-hmm. It's always flowers and butterflies and stuff. It's not life. I've never been somewhere where there's only flowers and butterflies. Like, you know, we're going to have a balance here. Like, let's do that. Let's really make you think about the opposites of what you feel. And then make you think, why do I feel that way? And then walk away from that painting and say, wow, that was really deep, you know? From the big things in the paintings to the really, really small little things that I try to put in there.
Yeah, there's a lot of detailing that comes across inside there, and its subtleties and the fillings kind of give the direction and kind of point out where you want the attention to be highlighted,
Yeah,
so to speak.
for sure.
I see different deconstruction of the human form. I see some abstract work. I see a few different places that you're pulling in, even some pop art in the most recent aspects. Like, is there a period in time that you say that you pull from that kind of gets your inspiration? Talk to me a little bit about that.
For sure. I went back and watched a whole bunch of documentaries of, like, Soho, LES area in the 80s.
Yeah.
You know, 70s, 80s. like grit it was, like how, like if you ever watch what is the Basquiat movie, Downtown 81.
Yeah.
81, I feel like it's 81.
81.
Either way,
We
so
do a check
whatever,
on it.
yeah, we'll Google
It's
it.
dope, though.
Yeah. When you see that and you just see him walking past like these places and it looks like Iraq, like it's wild. There's no buildings there, there's no nothing, and then you go back and look at it now and just look, wow, like look how much change has happened over these years. That, and then, you know, like I said, I'm 33, so like I grew up listening to Jay, I grew up listening to Nas, I grew up listening to Nori, and like all these things that kind of painted this like grit feeling of like New York, you know what I'm saying? And then to be here is just like, it's dope, man, because then I get to actually really experience different ways. Like Brooklyn's not the same Brooklyn, but like
Hell no.
yeah. But you know, there's still some Brooklyn there, you know. So yeah, for sure.
You got to go a bit off the beaten path to find it in most of the boroughs, I'd say.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
those vestiges of old New York come across in that artwork, and that's kind of the thing that I think it's a time capsule in some way, shape, or form. Because long after the cool, bombed out looking buildings that, you know, you used to see the old Samo, new Samo kind of graffiti on, you'll see a new hot pop-up shop that's going to turn right around, and bunch of people living over it that don't have no kind of connection to what's actually happening. Why you wanted to live there is a tragic story.
Yeah, for sure.
So that art gives you a chance to kind of find the beauty in the hideous, but then also still tell we are still relevant. This is still real. This is something that matters.
Absolutely, for sure. And then also, like, I want you to feel culture. Like, you know, I'm grateful enough to sell paintings to people from all walks of life. But I want you to know that's a black person in that painting. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you need to feel the emotion in that man's eyes or that woman's eyes that I painted, and know that they are a person who comes from a background of like us.
Why is that important?
Yeah, it's super important to me because it's like the art world doesn't really have that. You know what I mean? Like you can have like a lot of, especially social media now, like some of the people that I'm envious of sometimes, which I can admit, you know what I mean? Like, cause they have more followings than me or something, like they don't really have messages. And I'm just like, how? So how can I do something different? And then with the art world, when you go to like a lot of these galleries, there's not many black people in those galleries. And if they are, it's not. It is, but it's not. You know what I mean? Like, it's not really there. If I'm just being honest.
I connected with you for a reason. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
for sure. And then the people who get it, and they rock with me, and I'm forever grateful for that, because it's just something that I do that I think is crazy, and people understand it. It's like, oh, okay, we're moving in the right direction here, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have to go back to, I am a black man. I need you to know that this art came from a black person. So then that way, when it goes to whoever's house it goes to from here going on in the future, they'll see that too, and they'll be like, okay, cool. Plus, it's tight to have that in like graffiti stuff in people's houses who you don't assume that would ever have it. Like, you know what I
Hell
mean?
yeah, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Somebody on Wall Street right now with a piece on the wall. It was like, I'm keeping it real.
Like
all the way real.
Super facts. The first show that Kay came to, I wasn't even there yet. And this woman called me because she got my number from a booth next door. And she was like, I'm buying 2 of your paintings. And I was like, oh, I'm not there yet. Can you wait? She's like, no, I'm taking them home now. I get to call her and everything like that after as we connect. Yeah. And she owns like a law firm, lives literally off of Central Park, multi-millionaire. And she has some of the blackest paintings I've ever done.
It's great.
And it's like, that's tight. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then she'll email me and she'll be like, whoever comes to my house, like they literally stop and they look at your stuff. And they stand there for like a good 10 minutes and talk. And I was like, that's what I want, you know?
That's dope.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's good that you can invoke that level of conversation. So, like one thing you said before was that you can create these pieces where people can have common thoughts, but not really even have to socialize or interact with each other.
Yeah.
I'd challenge you to say the dope thing is that these people could actually have that common idea and vision, and then have that social interaction around your paintings. Because we live in this world where everyone's on their phone and they're connected but disconnected.
Yeah.
So it's great to see that your art could actually bring people from different worlds together to integrate and get that common goal or common feeling out of that.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, he had told me you were a father.
Yeah.
So as a father, how important has the work that you're doing maybe shaped the legacy of what you want to leave behind for your children?
Yeah.
How important is it to you to have that representation and for people to see the importance of the diversity that you bring to the art world?
Super important. So I have a son and I have a daughter.
Oh,
and having a son changed a lot of that because like for me, it was touching subjects that we as men sometimes don't touch because we're not supposed to, or like, we're not really supposed to show emotions or real feelings at times, right? We're supposed to be hard with, but that's not true. You know what I mean? Nobody who to me has really made it like that did it by themselves, even though we're told as kids we need to do it by ourselves. So I put that in my artwork. I'm like, okay, I'm going to show a guy crying. I'm going to write something here like, I don't know. I just painted a painting for my show, and it's a guy in a goon mask, like a ski mask. And his hoodie says, it's okay for black men to show their feelings. And it's like, you know what I mean? Like with how we're brought up with not doing that. Now I want for my kids and people after me to see my work and be like, it's okay to show that as a guy. Like, I'm allowed to say, hey, I don't really feel too good today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like, hey, you know what? I'm emotional a bit today. Like, you know what I mean? But I'm going to be okay because I'm strong and stuff. But I can admit that. I can make that a piece.
That's a dope piece.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
We hide behind masks, right?
All the time.
All the time.
M to the A to the S to the K. Throw that mask on your face.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Now, I know that you are a music connoisseur for sure. We've talked about music back and forth, and one of your initial pieces is what really drew me in, and it was the piece where there was nothing but albums in the background, and there was a guy with a hoodie on, and it was just, I was vicariously living through you already, just like, oh, damn, I know that album, I know that album, I know that album, like, that one was fire.
Yeah.
And I see that adding messages in your art is something that is necessary for you. So can you just speak a little to how music helped unpack that and how storytelling became a huge part of what you do today?
Yeah, music is everything to me, man. I can't paint without it. I can't work without it. I work corporate, and they know me that I have my headphones on. It's just how I am. You know what I mean? Music speaks to me, so I look at paintings and collections as albums. So right now, like The Beautiful Ugly is an album to me. And I have 16 paintings that are going to Norway, and they all touch on a different subject, but the thread is still there. With that painting that you're talking about, it was all these album covers. So I had like some of my favorites. D'Angelo Voodoo, my favorite album of like all time.
Classic.
Super classic. I had Reasonable Doubt. I had The Internet, Purple Naked Ladies. I had The Game, and like documentary, because when I was in high school, and every album cover, the person had a mask on, because you were just talking about pet mask, and it's saying like, with these albums, the artist unveiled something to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or unveiled a part of me. You know what I mean? So it's like the mask, you either wear a mask to fit in with everybody, if they're all wearing masks, or you wear a mask to stand out. So all of those albums really stood out to me in a time where, like, like, I remember Diplomatic Immunity when that first came out. Like, I'm seeing it right here. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
It's the only photo I have of that, so I keep this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, we'll link up. I'll get you guys prints. I got prints and stuff like that for you. Yeah, so
man, listen.
Say less. Absolutely, brother.
Yeah.
I feel a lot less upset about Kyle now, this whole situation.
So that's music for me, man. Now, it's really, really deep. I'm a deep SoundCloud lover. You know what I mean? Like going on binges and just finding new artists, and then when other people figure them out, I'm like, it's tight. Like, it's cool. I like that. So, yeah, it helps me. And then, you can see it, to me, in my art. You can see it by the colors that I use and, like, probably what I'm listening to around that time. Yeah.
That was my next question. You paint in very vivid colors. Like, it's very rare that I see a simple black and white photo from you. Everything, it pops. It immediately attacks the eye. Can you just speak to what that does for you as a release? Like,
yeah, for sure. That's like my name, right? So Cloudy Vision, the vision part of that is that, like, I want you to be in a gallery or be in a space where art is, and walk past mine and be like, what is that? How? Like, and then come over and look. Literally my thing. Like, I love that. Like, when I did the show that Kay came to, it was like an art fair. There's like 120 other artists there, and people will literally be like, no, like that? I've never seen this before. Or like something that pops like that. And the colors are just energy. I really go in, like, I don't use base colors. Like, I literally sit there and formulate my yellows, like, you know what I mean? Formulate my blues. because, you know, the music kind of runs into that. And then how would that pop on canvas to make you come from the other side of the room and then make you think about it?
Yeah, man. If you're listening to Dipset while you painting and you know your stuff is going up, you're going to have a little bit more.
Yeah.
Something popping out.
You know, you're going to have a little bit more battery in the back for this thing.
Sure, yeah.
And I respect that, right? Because that's hip hop culture at its essence, right? So we all in the same room, we like the same stuff, but you got to stand out.
Yeah.
I got to show you, yo, listen, this is my set, this is where I'm from, this is my block, you
Exactly.
know, it's
Yeah.
everything right here, but it's all in the painting and it's the still.
Yeah.
And I think the beauty inside of that art, and I forget where this quote comes from exactly, but good art sets traps for your attention. And you're
like that. Yeah.
putting that inside that context where it's like, no, I want you to have to break your cycle of normal thinking to pay attention to where this is going.
Absolutely.
Now, that is a genius tool to give people messages that they would otherwise not be able to access. And that is also that thing that finds that thread of humanity between the person who is from that and the person who is quite removed from it.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, this is what they're going through.
Yeah.
Now I have an affinity for it because I can understand that.
Yeah, because we all feel, right?
Yeah.
We all feel something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and no matter if you speak English or not, like, you have feelings. So it's like, you know, if I can do that, then that's what I want. And then I don't want really people, I'm not saying I don't want, but like, I really want you to pay attention. So sometimes I'll put on my paintings like a U.S. mail sticker. Like, I'll paint it on there. And then I'll like, you know, when looking at art, use your eyes first and then use your phone.
Yeah.
Really pay attention to like what's happening here, because I only have a few minutes to kind of touch here, touch your brain. You know what I mean? So it's like that's important. Yeah.
I have a great appreciation for that because, again, this is a lot of what you're saying is a lot of why this sounds the way it does sound and why we come onto the same platforms and try to elevate the voices of people who are doing that same thing similarly. So definitely thankful for that. But I want to go into when you knew that this was something that you can commodify. And when you knew that this was something that you could say, you know what, this is not just me doing those sketches in the book. Like, I'm going over to Norway. I got to, like, you know, I got a nice little situation over here. I'm going to stop from there, go back home real quick, touch the soil, see how it feels.
Yeah.
Check the energy. What's up?
Absolutely.
What's up, London? How you feeling out here? I'm here. I've arrived. You know, fix up, look sharp, all that stuff, right? I hear where you at. Like, when did it become clear that, okay, this is a thing that I could also do? I got this bag, too, that I can go out and not just stimulate your mind, but I can stimulate this bank account real quick as I'm doing it.
I'm still figuring that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk through that, though, because there's a lot of artists that don't understand how to make that transition.
So it's really hard, right? So I'm at a stage now where, like, I work, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. But, like, I would love to be able to do this full time if I could, but I understand the balance of life, so I need benefits for the kids.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, like, every show that I do, I kind of see it more. And I'm paying attention to the things that most people aren't paying attention to. Not necessarily the buyers. The buyers are great.
Yep.
It's the other people that I'm trying to really, like...
Well, they put the buyers on.
For sure.
The buyers are reacting.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Like, you know, there was one point where I wasn't putting red dots when I sold paintings. I would just switch the painting out.
Yeah.
And this woman came up to me. She goes, "Why is the red dots? You just sold 3 paintings. What happened?" And I was like, "I don't really like this." She's like, "No, people need to see that you did that."
Exactly.
And once I did that, more came off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally because they saw other people doing it. You know what I mean? So the transition in getting money in art is hard. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of artists out now. Everybody's kind of picked up a pen and or paintbrushes and stuff like that. You have to do something completely different. And then once you do that, you see people, certain people come towards you and then buy. And then when they buy again.
Yeah.
Thank God. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I said, I'm figuring it out now. Every show that I do, I get more comfortable with myself. I get more comfortable with showing because, you know, art is like a thing you do in your house or in your art studio quietly. You know what I mean? You're putting all this pain and fun and happiness into paintings quietly. And then I got to show it to people and be like, "Hey, I'm vulnerable today, guys. Like, check me out. Look at my heart."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Judge me in front of me.
Oh, I do it twice a week.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that. But then you get more comfortable with doing it. And you're just like, you know what? I love to hear people's good reactions, but I also like to hear the bad. What don't you like about my paintings?
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay, cool. I can take a little bit of that and then move on and go forward. Yeah.
Now, speaking to the feeling aspect that you brought in, and to Tone's point, the commodification of it, making money from it. We all know when you dive into something, eventually you get to a point where and we talked about this in which podcast was that? With the Black Man Came with Brandon. Like you eventually come to a point where you may have to end up hating what it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
Speak to that story arc of loving this as a passion, not really feeling it, but still pushing through. And I remember the conversation we had of you saying sometimes you paint over some of the paintings that you have
all the time. Yeah.
You know, just to add a new aspect to it. So unpack that story for me a little bit.
So, like, painting over my painting sometimes means, well, being frustrated. Let's start with that point. I think sometimes being frustrated for me is really hard. Being an artist is tough, man. And it's tough because it's like you said, you're giving yourself. And then if you don't pop the way that you feel like you're supposed to pop, or get the notoriety that you feel like you're supposed to get, it can really put you down. You know what I mean? And then, you know, I'm looking at it sometimes like, I know I'm good, but I don't have as much followers as da-da-da-da. And then social media will make you feel like, well, then you're kind of trash. Honestly, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
saying,
it will literally make you feel like, no, and you can get really wrapped in that. So I kind of had to, like, get that out of my head, which was a struggle. You know what I mean? Like, getting that out of my head. Like, just because I don't have the following that I feel like I deserve or should have, you know what I mean? Like, how do I now take that energy and just be like, you know, I don't care. That I don't care, it takes a while to get to. It takes a really long time. You got to go through a lot of different things to get there. And, you know, down times, upset times where you just need to drink. Yeah. Sometimes, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, get out of yourself, travel. I've done everything to kind of get where I'm at with this show now. Traveled, I've listened to different music, I've just taken long walks, I've beaten myself up, I've brought myself back up again, and to get to this beautiful, ugly place now is like, okay, cool. All of that was worth it. But nothing happens overnight.
It's called delayed gratification. You know, and we live in this world where we I actually just spoke about that on Instagram. We live in this world where we want everything yesterday because we have these cell phones and we have everything at our fingertips.
Yeah.
And even the idea of we thinking we're so dope and what it is we do, and when shit don't hit the way you want it to hit, it hits you in a way because you feel like you deserve this thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So no, I get it 100%, but we just got to keep the head down and keep pushing.
Yeah, man. It's like the pros and cons of social media, right? It's like cool because I can get out there. Yeah. But then there's like the cons of it is that like if it doesn't grow the way that I feel like it should, then or want to, the desire for it to grow that way, then it's like, do I take that as a loss?
Well, there's a cost to everything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily a loss, but at what point do you want to pay the price to get to what you think you should be doing?
Exactly.
Right? And then look at the people that you might be watching and comparing to and look at the price that they're paying. And it might not be a monetary thing.
Yeah.
It might be an integrity thing.
Yeah.
It might be an expressionary thing.
Yeah.
You know, it might be a limiting factor. Like, I don't know. You, just like an artist's mind, I can't tell you why you did what you did. I can only see my reflection.
Exactly.
Once you put it out there, it belongs to somebody else, right?
Yeah.
How do you get adjusted to, here's what I wanted to say, but here's how everybody else saw it. And okay, now I just got to live with that. Because once that painting is hanging up in my Tribeca loft over here, I don't care what you did about it.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
I know what it means to me. Like, talk to me a little bit about, it's kind of like giving away and not figuratively kind of like giving away another one of your products. Like, okay, I gave birth to this piece of art.
Yeah.
And I got to send it out into the world. Hopefully it does what it was supposed to do.
Yeah.
But as soon as it gets out, somebody's, oh yeah, I just like this because, you know, Skulls is cool. So that's what I was on.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, that happens. And then sometimes I have to just be like, you have to learn to be okay with that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I kind of did this for a specific reason here. It's not just a skull, but like, you know, like it's something else going on here. But, you know, everybody has an opinion, you know, and you really have to get to a point in life where you're just like, you know what, we're all allowed to have that opinion. We can't shut everybody down. I think we're in a stage now, especially like social media, where like, if you don't feel the same way as everybody, then you're kind of like canceled or shunned, and it's like, that's not true. Like,
whack.
yeah, like, come on, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we all feel different things. We're not all the same person, so it's like, it's okay to feel that. I actually prefer when you don't feel the same way about my painting that I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had somebody the other day come up to me. I was in a meeting to have an art dealer. And the first thing he said to me is like, you're good. You're almost great. And when you're great, you're out of here. But he goes, I want to get you while you're good. And I was like, out of everything we spoke about for 2 hours, that was the one thing that stood out to me. It's like, okay, so there's potential for growth there. I'm not hearing that it's all bad. I'm hearing that it's growth. We just got to keep getting there. So now my whole thing is to be great. I got to be great now. Every painting has to be it, like an album. I want my voodoo. I want my reasonable doubt. I want my Illmatic.
Statement piece.
Yeah. I want it to be like whenever people go back and they look at stuff, they're gonna be like, oh, those were the ones.
Man, Cloudy out here painting classics, homie.
Of course, man.
Classics, G.
I like how he packages it as an album.
Yeah, man.
What's a lot of the inspiration for the Beautiful Ugly project that's going on, other than obviously New York being gritty? Where's some of that inspiration?
I don't know if I came up with the phrase.
Can we talk about this?
Yeah, no, 100%. So a lot of the paintings deal with mental health. So there's a lot of heads. And because the head is such a beautiful place, like a crazy place too, it's like I paint a lot of faces or like a lot of things that concentrate on your upper body or like just your head. Because your brain, I watched this movie with my daughter called Inside Out. It's like a cartoon movie. I'm
Joy's giving us a thumbs up from the side.
Super
Cartoon movies be lit.
Yo, shout out to being Washed.
Yeah,
I'm so
Wash
proud
Life
to
is
be
lit.
Washed.
Yeah,
we lit.
Yeah, super
Wash
lit.
is the new lit.
Yeah. So he's like, nah, son.
Yo, couple years, he gonna be like, yo, y'all was right. This Wash Life is lit.
Yeah, but in that movie, it's a movie about the brain, and each character is an emotion.
Yep.
Right? And they all have their own personalities too, which is us. My anger has an emotion, like a different emotion, different pieces to it. So it's like the Beautiful Ugly in these paintings now are tackling those. So I have one where you have a halo, which you'll see. The shirt I have on today has a halo. I always put a broken halo, or it has cracks in it. And the cracks in the halo mean the halo is we're all trying to be good. It's terrible being good. It's the hardest thing in the world. It's the easiest thing for my son to do right now is to pick up something and throw it. Like he can just do that all day. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like,
what up, Dad?
Yeah, no, like, what up?
You painting? I'm painting too.
The hardest thing for him to do would be teaching him, hey, like, how do we not do that at an appropriate time? You know what I mean? So it's like painting those halos, lots of halos on my things. There's lots of crying or like one eye open. You know what I mean? Or one eye closed, both eyes closed. I used to paint a lot of people just eyes closed because I didn't really want to let people in. It's like the window blocker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So most of my first paintings were all closed. All the eyes were closed. And then now I've opened them up and they pop. They're big. They're bright because that's what I want. Yeah.
Man.
Would you say that that's correlated to you as an individual directly as far as your eyes being closed? Because maybe didn't want people to see you in a certain way, and then
absolutely
you found you honed in on your confidence. And
it goes back to the whole
community got you in your bag, and now the eyes is open.
It goes back to the whole that painting, like I said, with the guy with the ski mask, right? And it's okay for us to show our emotions. You get to 30 and you're like, all right. I've been tough my whole life. Like you're saying, like,
yo, that shit gets tired, fam.
Tired, bro.
That shit
like,
gets tired,
yeah, man. You're like, dude, like, oh,
I got 2 more years in.
Yeah,
bro, I'm telling you right now. Clock's ticking, Jones.
Yeah, it's like I turned 30, 3 years ago, and I was just like, all right, man, I'm cool, man.
For real.
Yeah, man, I got it out. Yeah. I did it. I've done my stuff now. Let me be honest. Let me unveil. Let me take that mask off for real, for life, and just be myself now.
Feels like an elephant's foot came off your chest a little bit. For
sure. That's why I embrace Wash Life, man, because it's like, you know what? It's cool.
Retired cool guys, man. Been there, done all that shit.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. That's how it goes.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Respect, man.
Because of how much of the mental health is into your art, can you speak to what that was like, taking that brick wall out, and and what it's like as a black man to be able to do that and to express yourself? Like, a lot of people don't get to the point where art comes out, right? Like, this expression can come out in violence, it can come out in sport, it can come out in so many different avenues, but to be able to find a healthy medium, what got you to that point?
Once again, man, so like, I don't know, weirdly, like since I was probably like 13, I always knew I had to go away somewhere for a couple years to figure myself out. You know, I'm a God believer, so the prodigal son story, right? You leave, you go out in the world, you figure things out, you come back home, and then you've got it. And that's what Denver was to me. It was kind of like an oasis. So I moved there. I didn't know anybody. Like I said, I had never been there before. Literally got on a plane, got an apartment, and was just like, all right, figure it out. You know what I mean? And when I was there, I went through some of the toughest times of my life, especially because I was alone. And there was nobody I could just go up the street and check my homie out and be like, yo, what's up? Like, yo, I need to talk about like this, and that. So it was like December of whatever year that was, and I was down, man. It was rough. I was going through some crazy stuff. I broke up with my girl, who's my wife now, and you know, I didn't want to do like anything. I got really big. You know what I'm saying? I was eating Wendy's like 3 times a day. Like I just,
crispy chicken's not a bad.
Dude, yeah, man. But it's wild when you do it 3 times a day and they know you.
Listen,
Hey, you should never. This is a public service announcement brought to you in part
definitely
by the good folks over at Off the Strength. When you're checking into your favorite fast food establishment and they know your name, that's their sign for you to stop going there.
Yeah.
You gotta go.
What's up? You want that? Yeah. You're like, nah.
Like, hey, what's up, Tone? How you been, man?
You good?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yo, we just got the fries, baby.
So, like I said, and then I looked at my life. I took a second to look at my life and just be like, okay, if I have an outlet, what would it be? What would I like to do? I went through a phase where I wanted to do tattooing. Some of my favorite artists that I look up to, my favorite artist is a tattoo artist. His name's Maya Bailey. And, reading his stories and listening to him and just kind of going through these things. And he was just like, you can take that bad energy and flip it and do something else with it. And then, like I said, I went down that street. I found art. And then art just kind of spoke to me. And then it spoke to me to a point where nobody was saying the things that I wanted to say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like nobody. So it's just like,
Go into that.
yeah, like for me, like I said, I wanted it to be something that was truthful. I wanted you to feel pain. I wanted you to feel love. I wanted you to feel anger. I wanted you to feel happiness. Looking at one thing. You know what I mean? Which is hard to do. It's really hard, especially as the artist. Trying to make somebody feel 4 different emotions in one thing is really tough. You know what I mean? But that's what I wanted to do. And then, I like challenges. I really enjoy challenges, so I'm like, let's go through it.
I got a challenge for you.
What's up?
So, look at it.
Don't try to get me what you did with the woman on the. I'm not doing that.
Not
in here.
doing that?
Shout out to Meg.
Yeah, Meg is dope. Yeah.
My wife knows I've been trying to find a specific artist to help me design a sleeve because it's time I want to take my tattoos to the next level. So I'm.
Do you have any already?
I do.
Okay.
They were poor choices when I was young and wild.
I don't trust anybody that doesn't have a trash tattoo.
Yeah. I have Chinese letters like and a dog paw.
Yeah, 2000,
from
early
the era,
2000s.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got
Early,
you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That was
Our was playing heavy.
Yeah. It was.
And I went to Murder Inc. and the tattoo was trash. Exactly.
Yeah.
He was in there, what up? He was without my baby.
I was in there wilding.
I have a tattoo that Allen Iverson had.
Yeah.
Like only the strong survive, like on my
man.
chest, and I'm like, this is trash.
Listen.
I got to get this covered, but it's all good. Like, yeah,
Listen.
Yo, that's love, man.
yeah.
Shit's crazy. We're gonna cover those up, man.
Yo, that's
like
love
the heart,
right
like
there,
the
homie.
heart.
Yeah,
You know what
for
I'm gonna
sure.
do? I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm gonna keep them because I spoke to another dude that has some great artwork, and he had crazy trash Bugs Bunny in the mix of a dope sleeve, and I was like, yo, why did you leave that?
Yeah.
And he was like, because it's a part of my journey. So I'm gonna keep these trash ones and just build some beautiful art around it.
I think that's tight.
It matters.
Yeah, for sure.
That was a point. That's where I was. We can't hide from who we were.
Exactly.
Right. So I'd love to sit with you and maybe you can commission a drawing for me to get that
Sure.
artwork. So you might not have to be the guy who does it.
Yeah.
But your art could live forever.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'd love to do that with you if that's something
That would
you're
be
down
tight for sure.
Say more.
Absolutely.
I'm dead serious.
That's cool to me. That's really, really cool. Like when people live with something that you've done, that's tight, man. Then like you kind of get to hear somebody's story. That's my main thing. Like if I ever create things for people, which I don't really try to do, because it needs to come from me, but I want to hear where you're coming from. Then I'll put you in the piece. So like I've done commissions for people where like I won't know them like that. But I'll go on like your feed and see that you like this album. I'm putting that in the painting so that connects to you It's a one-on-one conversation. Yeah, it's like a tailor, so you know that was just for you. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's like my little shout out to you. Like, cool, I see what you do.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, how did you know that? And I'm like, that's what I research.
Yeah.
I look into it. So, yeah, for sure. We'll talk. And,
man,
I got you.
I'm super serious.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Man, I am all on point for this. First of all, I'm still cracking up about the tattoo shit, Troy, because that's...
Yo, listen to me.
It's too real, man.
So I'm not gonna lie to you. It's a dog paw, but as I got older, I tried to lie to people. I was like, it's a wolf paw.
Yeah.
And it was an ode to my grandfather, who would always say, you can run with the dogs, but can you roll with the wolves?
I mean, listen...
Yeah.
Now, if you had all of that around it, nobody would ever give you any smoke for it.
You feel me?
They'd be like, all right, yeah, listen.
Like, yo, it's real.
I don't know how you tattooed that sound on you, but man,
See, like,
the
new kids have tattoos where you don't even have to ask questions. You're like, oh, boom, like, I see you, and you paid $1,500 for that. That's tight. Me, I'm like, I got to give you the story. It's got to be a background little checker. Yeah, because otherwise you'll look at it and just be like, why?
Yeah, if you explaining that much, you're just like, all right, fam, check this out. That might not have been it.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
And that's going on my own, by the way. These new kids, it's like, I don't know. They face look like Times Square. It's just different out here.
Bro, you pull up with a face tat.
We're in a weird space, man. We're in a weird space where that's cool.
Well, talk about a mask. That's a whole
I'm not
different
arguing
type.
with those kids, though. They shoot people.
Yeah, nah, word.
I used to think that.
All right.
I used to.
Yeah,
Some of them do. Some of them is just going
Not
through
all.
a lot of stuff. This is just where I'm at right now. This is where I'm going through it. And it's a reflection of, I don't know what part of that story is that meaningful to them at that point in time, but you can't judge somebody by their actions, but you can see the results, right?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I recently spoke to somebody who has face tattoos, and he's a young guy. And I was like, why? Like, talk to me. Because I was like, for me, I don't know, like, I work, so I'm like, I don't have any on my hands, but I'm tatted here. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, why would you do that? And they really live in a space. You got to understand, like, these kids grew up with, like, I grew up before the internet. I remember AOL with the, and all that stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right?
I was dialing in.
Word. So, like,
One line.
they didn't grow up with that. So they grow up with this thing where they're just like, we live today.
Yeah.
It's today.
Yeah.
I could be gone tomorrow. So you know what? If that's how I feel today,
Yes.
tatting it on my
impulse.
face.
It's impulse.
It's super impulse. And that scares the fire out of me because I was just like, what happens when you're 60? Kind of like what our parents did
Our
to
parents
us, right?
did the same thing to
Right?
us,
It's
man.
the
So
same
now I've embraced wash life.
Yeah.
Like, I walk around and see kids like, your pants down. Like, dude, come on, bro. Where you
pants
going,
up.
man? Then I look at myself and I'm like, fam, I used to be that kid. That's wild.
That was me. That was
Yeah.
me.
But then I say that now with a face tattoo and I'm like, you can't get rid of it.
I
So
know.
it's like,
I know.
Yeah.
But I say it's like we needed to express ourselves.
Yeah.
Right? And,
Yeah.
and you know, thank God there were good people who did allow us to express ourselves. And I guess we got to allow the kids to do the same thing. But,
Yeah.
I mean, they do live in a culture where they feel like, you know, any day could be their last. And I mean, with all the current events and things that are happening, especially within the music culture, these kids are dying. And they're dying so young. They're like, fuck it, I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to live in the moment.
Yeah, yeah. R.I.P. Pop, man.
For real,
That was
for real.
wild.
Yeah.
For sure.
That shit broke my heart.
Yeah, man.
Well, for me specifically, like, only because I fall into that youth still a little bit, you know.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Best under 30, you know what I mean? Don't quote me.
Listen,
You know?
you come in here with a snow cone tattooed on your face. I'm going to have some questions for you.
Not at all. Now, I'm very much that in between. So, like, I'm old enough to know the difference before the internet, but also still young in some spaces. And for me, like, getting my hand tattoo was like, yo, I'm never going to work in corporate America ever.
That's tight, though.
Yeah.
See, I envy
Fire,
that.
though.
Yeah.
I envy that
Which was
feeling.
like,
yeah.
I knew this going into it. Was like, how can I make sure that I bet on myself, express myself in the way I want to, and where it's authentic to me? It was like, yo, I'm never going to corporate America. Now, I'm not going to go out here and get a face tat just because I
The
feel
face
it
is
that
wild.
day.
The hands are cool.
Yeah.
I don't mind hand because that's not an issue. I think your face is the first thing that somebody sees. You know what I
course.
mean? Once again, I envy that because I've worked since I was 15. You know, I'm half Jamaican, so like, you know, I'm supposed to have 4 jobs right now. It's just
Feel you.
somewhere my great grandfather is like really mad at me.
Yo, you slacking.
Saying, like, what are you doing?
You slacking.
Walk on with shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but if I would have had people on how the internet is now, like growing up, then I probably would have did that too, because it's just like, I know what I want to do. I have easy access to it because I have the internet. That's a wild thing when you think about it, because I used to read school books. And now, like kids with the iPads and they're in class and doing their thing, like, and it's very, very different. You can Google everything. When I was younger, you couldn't Google everything. Like
YouTube University, you know?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like
smart boards now.
Yeah, exactly. So like a kid can learn. I'm sending my daughter to coding in 2 years.
Yeah.
You're gonna learn coding because that's the way of the future. But we didn't have that. So it's like the fact that you have a lifestyle where you're able to know, hey, I never want to go to corporate because that's just not for me. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, like for me, it was the only way that you can make money is to go corporate.
Yeah.
Well, we see a changing of the guard, right? In terms of you're in the similar kind of age bracket where back in the day, security at work was a real thing.
Yeah.
There was such a thing called job security.
For sure.
Today, that's not a real sentiment at all.
Not at all.
It's like, okay, I got my 9 to 5 and then I got my however many hustles, at least in this city, to keep everything up afloat and to keep that going. And that probably does feed into that sense of urgency. Because I don't know that tomorrow is certain, I have to do everything that I want right here, right now, because everything is fleeting.
Yeah.
And we're in a time of a lot of different turmoil, right?
Yeah.
So it brings back in that mind, and to tie that back into the whole art aspect, I got a Mos Def quote inside there where he goes, life is beautiful, life is struggle, life is a beautiful struggle.
Yeah.
Right? And Talib used that for a song.
Yep.
Pulling that all back inside there. So that beautiful struggle, the illustration of that struggle and everything that comes in between that is, to me, testimony to legacy.
Yeah.
Right? So you talk about classic albums and you talk about the things that are going to be inspirational to people going forward. Whenever I'm trying to create, I'm throwing on a Love Supreme. Because I can hear that's a conversation between a man and his idea of God. I don't even know if I have that idea, but I can understand what he's trying to express inside of those directions. And I can understand this is going to be my testimony to everything I love. This is how I'm going to put it out here. I'm going to ball out.
Yeah.
I'm going to do my Mamba set right here.
Yeah, for sure.
Put everything on the table. This is where it's going.
Yeah.
What are you throwing on when you got to get that emotion out of you?
It's kind of like a mix. I have like a playlist that's like, it has everything that I need.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. In that playlist is the internet. Who else is on there? I got Bob Marley on there. I've got new stuff like a group called Salt.
Okay.
Really, really tight. Like,
You sent me that. I ain't even listen
Salt,
to it, but you know I'm
they're
going to
so
listen to it.
dope, dude. You don't know who they are.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of people from like overseas. I listen to a lot of instrumental stuff. So it kind of puts me there, and it all puts me in the mind state of what you were just talking about. For me, is I really want my artwork to live forever.
Yeah.
And as cliche as that sounds, whenever people take pictures or buy them or anything like that, it lives with you. It's there.
Yeah.
It lives in your brain. That's all I really want.
Take up as much real estate as possible.
That's it, man. I want real estate in your brain because then you can't forget me.
Yeah.
You'll never forget that painting. You know what I mean? Like you won't. That's it.
That's how we got here today, brother.
Exactly.
I saw that in you and made that connection.
Yeah.
And followed up. So my question to you would be, what does success look like for you through art, through being a father, through being a husband? What does success look like to you?
From an art perspective, success to me is more people being able to see what I'm doing. And then me being able to talk to them about what I'm doing. Art shows are cool because, like, if I'm there, I get to talk to you about it. That usually seals the deal. You can see it and be like, oh, that's dope. But then when I talk about it, you're like, oh, no, like, I get you and I get the painting. Now I'm buying you.
Yeah.
I'm not just buying something for my wall. So that would be success for me. Like, more people seeing it. I don't want to be everywhere. I'm for specific people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not for everybody. It's not going to make sense to everybody. So my success is being for the right people. And then as far as like lifestyle outside of art, being a good dad, being a good husband, being a good man, more importantly, I want people to remember me as just being a good person, a good-hearted person.
Paint a picture for me for a good-hearted person. What's that look like?
I don't know. Somebody that you can just kind of go to if you need advice. Go to if you need to feel happy. Go to if you need security. Go to if you feel all of those things. My wife recently said it to me. She was like, I feel secure around you. That was the one thing that, like, out of anybody else, it was like, I looked at you and I was like, okay, I'm safe with this guy.
Yeah.
That's important to me. That's a good legacy right there. You're safe with me. Come along with this journey. Let's figure this out. It's crazy. But, we're here.
But you get there.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Damn, dude, I'm just vibing on that.
Yeah.
That's love. I mean, I feel like I was running point. Someone passed this to my brother Troy right now. Troy, can you set my man Cloudy up with something for the listeners, man?
You have a lot, man. You have a wealth of knowledge. You're a father. You're an artist. You're a creative. You also work in the grind. You understand what that looks like. Speak to, I think this is something that people really understand, and I think I can kind of figure where you had your breakthrough moment of confidence. It was something that you just said that I know for me was my breakthrough moment when you said that you weren't for everybody. I think once you could identify that you're not for everyone, like I say it all the time, I'm like mezcal. I ain't for everybody. Either you like it or you don't. Yeah. Right. And I think when you live for the opinions of others, you're no longer living for yourself.
Exactly.
Right. So can you speak to, I guess, our listeners? A lot of our listeners they're on the same journey, and they're trying to find that confidence, and they don't really understand how to get it, where to get it from, or how to identify it. Can you just give some words of encouragement to our listeners on how to find and identify that you don't have to be for everyone to have an amazing product. You don't have to be for everyone to add value. You don't have to be for everyone to be important and to matter. Like quality is quantity, quality over quantity. Can you speak to that aspect and
for sure.
encourage our listeners on that?
I always say you have to be you. There's only one you. There's literally only one you in this world. Somebody may look like you. You know what I mean? They may have in the same print, but it's only you. You have to find the space that makes you the most uncomfortable, because that's probably where your thing is. Yeah. I was an introvert, super introvert. And like I said, once I broke that away and I was just like, you know what? I saw the change of literally like how everything changed for me. Work life, regular life, art life. Everything changed once I got rid of that ego. To go back to one of my paintings, most of my paintings, my new ones, I have a balloon. The balloon will say ego and it's just flying off in the air. It's like, let that ego go to become the best you. So make yourself the most uncomfortable. My ego is, my pride is my thing that I hold on to because it feels like a safety blanket. You feel me? But like once I let that out and I'm just like, okay, this is me. This is Dan I Cloudy Visions Graham. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's it. There's nothing else you can do there. I can be free. Once you're in that space, that's where you need to get. And it takes a lot. I can't tell you how to get there. Everybody's roadmap is different, but, once you're there, you'll know because you'll feel uncomfortable. And then once you really feel uncomfortable, but then you find something that you're like, that always makes me happy. If it's working out, that always makes me happy. No matter how crappy of a day I'm having, I can go to the gym and I feel great. If I go into the art studio, doing it in your house, great. But finding that and then latching onto it. So be uncomfortable being comfortable. That was a bar. My bad.
You give yourself that credit. That was a bar. Throw it up off the glass one time.
That was a little one.
That's a great one.
Be uncomfortable, be uncomfortable.
Listen, my mentor taught me that, and he put me in some pretty uncomfortable fucking positions, man.
You have to.
And that's when I decided, like, okay, I'm going to grow.
And,
you know what I mean? I forgot who had told me yesterday. It was the 3 Ps that keep them going were prayer, performance, paranoia. Prayer keeps them rooted. Performance is making sure that they're able to elevate and perform in any area of their lives at a certain level. And then paranoia is anything that I have could be taken from me. So I got to fucking grind and make sure I don't go back to what it is who I used to be.
That was a bar.
You feel me?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. Man, these masks is coming off today, fellas. I like that. Yeah. Mask off.
Mask off. Mask off.
Yeah, for sure.
Future had a hit.
I was about to say, I didn't even know. That brother was going through some shit.
He was on it.
Yeah. I missed this the whole time. I misjudged
He was
man.
trying to tell us something, bro. It wasn't about the Percocet and the Molly.
Damn it, man.
That just showed you had to take the mask off.
You know what?
It's just hard while you turning up. You're like, you know what? I actually do feel like I have a mask on right now.
I'm sad.
I can't do this no more, man. Molly Percocet fucking me up.
Yeah, for sure.
Boots had me fucked up, man. I didn't even know. Damn, homie.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Now I gotta go reevaluate a lot of shit. Go back and look through all of it.
You're gonna go back and listen to Future a whole new way.
I'm listening to him now. I'm like, life is good. Going off the deep end like usual. Drake was telling him, you've been wilding.
Yo, fam, slow down. We need you here. It's like, stop doing this. It's crazy, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yo, Young Jones.
What up?
My man, I want to thank you again for bringing in this aggressive-ass energy early this morning, wanting to fight. But now I understand why you wanted to fight me, because you was just excited about the situation that you brought to us. So I wanted to look across the table and say, sir, thank you for you being you, sir.
Yeah, man.
Keeping up with the Joneses is exactly how it came across. And Cloudy, I gotta tell you right now, my man, yo, I fuck with your art, brother.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I fuck with the story.
Thank you.
And we're going to try to amplify this thing as much as we can.
Absolutely.
You got to keep this thing going. I mean, I wanted to ask the off the strength question, but he already got, just, the gems is heavy. We got to pick up some of these gems, homie.
Sometimes when I talk, it flows, man.
It's great.
Nah, that's what you're supposed to do. We was doing freestyle, freeform, man. You just painting without the rules.
You ain't introverted no more, brother.
Nah,
you flourishing,
trying.
man.
Yeah.
We ain't painting by colors over here, man.
Yeah, you got to get to 30. And then you figure it out.
You're like, oh, damn.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like, damn, yo,
Being
okay.
30 is mad emotional. You're like, you figure it out.
Bro, I get you.
Man.
Trust me, I get you for sure, brother.
Appreciate it.
How can we keep up with you? Where can we find you? And I mean, is there going to be a display coming to the stateside anytime soon?
100%. So,
please, plug us.
My name is CloudyVisionsArt, all one word, obviously. My signature on my paintings is actually my @ name, so it makes it easy. When somebody takes a picture, you have to remember.
Thinking ahead.
Yeah, for sure. So
good marketing.
CloudyVisionsArt, I have a show March 13th in Oslo. Which is really wild. It's my first solo show I've ever done. And it's my first international show, so I'm like,
first time in Germany?
First time everything.
Germany is a different space, man.
Yeah. It's all different. So it's like doing that. So I have that show coming up March 14th. I have a show in London coming up the 16th. And then I'm ready to do Brooklyn. Brooklyn is pivotal for me, just like the Basquiat thing, yada, yada. Like New York it's it. So my first New York solo show will be in like May.
Yeah.
You guys are invited for sure, and it's going to be incredible.
I don't know if you knew like I knew, but I was at that show, regardless if you would have told me.
Yeah. Nah, no doubt. It's going to be really, really dope.
I was like, yo, you in Brooklyn? All right, so we coming.
Your show is the 13th or the 14th of March?
14th.
That's my birthday.
Nice.
I'm
Happy
FaceTime
birthday.
you. We're going to do a shot.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm gonna be ready.
I'm
so
gonna have them with me.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. So yeah, that's that, and then that's it. Other than that, find me on social media, CloudyVisionsArt everywhere, and come and experience it, man. It's tight. Once you're here, it's pretty cool. So
can't wait to make this an interactive experience, big homie.
Yeah, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate you guys for sure. And this show is dope, man. Once again, I appreciate you guys just coming here, being able to see how you guys vibe. We talked. It was great. You know what I'm saying? It was good energy. So it was love, man. I appreciate it. Thank you.
This is what we try to do to take those masks off every single week that we come inside here, because our industry tells you that you got to be a lot of shit that most people don't feel most of the time.
Yeah.
And
low-key, I think we have to name this one Mask Off.
Mask Off.
Yeah.
Fucking Mask Off. Yo, he hit the game winner right here. All right, bonus round, Mask Off, man. I don't even have nothing else to put on that, brother.
Yeah, for sure.
I appreciate y'all once again. It's been another fantastic episode of Off the Strand from a trainer called Tony.
KR Jones.
Number one.
There we go. Shout out to the homie.
Brooks, yo.
Shout out to the homie Corey. Peace and much love to y'all. Till next time, we'll see you soon.
Peace.
Peace.